I really think that community and tribalism is back.
Because people will build the community and get big and then lose touch.
Producers don't get enough shine. You guys should definitely interview some producers because
we love producers here.
Hey, KJ, what you got going on, man?
We love producers here.
If you gon' go, then go, don't tell me you won't. I want them diamonds on my neck to make me look like I'm cold. That ain't for you and none of these hoes, that's just for me and my bros. I gotta fight for my balls, I gotta stack out this gold. I tell you I'm on.
Welcome back to the Real Oshow podcast. I'm Zachary.
And I'm Joshua, and we're brothers on the adventure to find the curiosities of our life.
And today we sit down with Tyler Walsh, an artist engagement manager, looking to connect cool people to brands. And he also has a viral TikTok series where he talks to cool artists on the streets of New York. Tyler, welcome to the show.
Appreciate you guys for having me. Appreciate the gassing me up in the intro. So
we had to.
We're just gonna rip it right off, T.
Oh yeah.
So in this emerging digital age, how is artificial intelligence, blockchain affecting music today? And like, what are the contingencies for artists, labels, and even the consumers in this new age of music?
That's a great question. On my own podcast recently, I talked about this because I'm very excited about AI. Something I feel like it's really going to help is songwriters in the music industry. Because a lot of time how the process works is songwriter will, make a song, like, all right, who's this a fit for? And then let's say it's like Ryan Tedder, for example, lead singer of One Republic, and then they send it off. But sometimes the problem is, when that artist receives the demo, they're not sure, like, is this a good fit? Will I be able to actually hit those notes? Will it be my style? I feel like AI is perfect because then, let's say the songwriter can make their demo actually sound like Ryan Tedder and be like, hey, this is me singing, but I made it sound like you. What do you think of it? So I think that's one area that I'm extremely bullish on, and I'm not sure, what companies are working on that technology, but I would definitely be keeping an eye out for that. So that's definitely one area.
And with all of that, because you kind of said it, so you think there's going to be people that have AI write a song and then present it to the artists? Kind of like a true just ghostwriter, like is already happening. You think that's going to be more so what happens with it all?
Not necessarily write a song. The songwriter is still going to write the song themselves and record it themselves, but then on the back end, they apply the effect of making their voice sound like the artist they're sending it to.
I guess. So they can really like show you what's going on. Because that makes a ton of sense.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense because I think of like Ed Sheeran, right? He writes a lot of music for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And like one of his biggest songs he ever wrote, he tried to give to like 10 people, and everyone's like, I'm not really feeling it. So he just was like, fuck it, I'll just put it on myself.
Well, it's even the reason I kind of looked at you and tapped you was Angela Hunt when she made the Empire State of Mind.
Yes.
She tried to sing it like how she wanted Jay-Z to do it, which is
Right.
hard. But then if you have AI do it, it's like fits really good in your head. But to spin it, when you're deep diving, because what you do majority of your day is you're listening to these people that are on the come up because you've plugged me onto a ton of people. So I trust your opinion and you know that. What do you listen to like from an artist that you're like, this person has the it factor?
It's a lot of things.
Like, is it a sound? Is it lyrics? Is it the beat that they like rap and how they float in and out of the pockets? Like,
I don't think it's just one thing, but I think the most important thing for an artist to have is some sort of like, I think there's two things. It's like, I think they coincide together. There's authenticity to it, and that leads to a genuine connection with the listener. If I listen to a Lil TJ song and I'm like, damn, I really felt that, I'm more inclined to share it with my friends and be like, yo, what do you think of this song? I'm more inclined to be engaged in their story and their come up and want to support. So I think that's the main thing. And I know that's kind of why I share music too. It's like, get a gauge of like, yo, do they feel that too? Like they feel, that same emotion.
I'm honestly curious because like you discover a lot of people that even just don't even speak English, like a lot of like Latin rappers and such. So I'm just curious, like, how is it in the sense of like it's not even always about the language, but like what are the factors of like you seeing like a Latin artist and being like, yo, they have it?
It's definitely a mix of everything. Content plays a key role, but I don't think that's the end all be all. There's so many artists like Kendrick and Drake, they don't post on TikTok, but they still chart number one. it's definitely the sound. The production is so essential, and producers don't get enough shine. You guys should definitely interview some producers because
We love producers here.
Hey, KJ, what you got going on, man?
We love producers here.
Yeah, definitely the sound. You can kind of like generally like, you know, part of my job, like something I do, is just like one of my goals is to find artists all across the world. You know, so like I'm finding artists in Korea or Japan or Indonesia, Amsterdam. Sometimes they don't speak English and their music isn't in English. But I kind of get the gist based on like, you know, the vibe of the song, you know, the tempo of it, the BPM, the cover. I kind of understand like the subject matter, and that at least gives me some sort of connection to it back to that point.
I mean, I agree. I listened to a Bad Bunny song. I don't know what he's saying, but I'm like, damn, this is hot.
Yeah.
It could still sound good without
Exactly.
understanding.
No, I agree.
that.
No, I agree. But it's like, it's so hard, right? Like
Of
in a
course.
sense, and you know, you obviously have the finger on the pulse of it.
Music just creates an effect. But I want to circle back a little bit. We talked about the it factor. You said it's a multitude of things. How important is it, and how important do like labels put on this for their artists to be like posting on social media and pushing social media?
Yeah, they it's one of the most important things because you guys know this. It's like unparalleled reach where you're reaching audiences that, you know, normally you'd have to spend ad dollars or make them pay to get to a show, and there's more barriers, but you know, you're lifting those barriers. But with the labels now, there's even incentives like, hey, if you post X amount of TikToks, and I'm not sure if it's in there, I know that part is, but let's say you get X amount of views or X amount of creates, you know, you get this much money. I know that there are some labels doing that because I know of an artist that told me about it, which is really just interesting, but it makes sense though, because it also, you know, lessens the marketing budget for the label.
Of course.
What is the future of music? And like, say you had a crystal ball. I know you said you're bullish on AI, so maybe I'll ask for a second one. But like, if you had a crystal ball, like, what would you say is like the thing for the future?
Originally, I was gonna say just the creator economy and creating content and how every artist is gonna be doing it, but I kind of want to switch it and I want to say community. I really think that community and tribalism is back, and artists that build community, you know, they're on top right now. They don't have to have the largest fan bases, but they can sell more than somebody with 26 million monthly listeners that can only sell 300 person cap in New York. Like, the math isn't mathing there. You know, if you have 26 million monthly listeners, how are you only selling 300 tickets in New York City, one of the biggest markets in the world for music and live music? So I think community, you know, artists like Playboi Carti, you know, incredible community. You know, I think about, cult.
It's a cult.
Yeah. I think about,
We saw
It's a
first.
cult.
yeah. Travis Scott, Larussel. Even Larussel has an amazing community.
Yo, shout out for, sorry to interrupt. Shout out for you to show us Larussel, because not only is he a great human being, but like when I talk about rap concerts with Zach, or I talk about it all the time, rap concerts are too much. I'm just rapping over my already song playing. Larussel is raw as fuck, and he actually puts on a show for people. Like, you pay to see him, and you actually see him working.
Yeah.
It's not like you sitting there on stage fucking hearing your own song playing and other people rapping it. Like, I get it. It's cool as a rapper, I'm sure, for thousands of people to sing your song, but like, you're here to put a performance on.
Yeah.
So
And-
sorry to cut you off, but
No,
that's what I was saying.
No, that's so true. And his whole community is built on pay as you can concerts, and that's how they meet. And like, you know, when you meet fans with similar interests, then that's why you stay a part of the community. It's like you meet people and you create that genuine connection.
That's such a good answer with community, though. I'm so glad you took it there, because we've talked about it a lot. And to take it a creator way, one group that does it really well, and we've talked about it before, is the Nelk Boys.
Yeah.
They do
Second you
such
said
a
that, I
good,
knew
like,
it.
you knew it.
Yeah.
Like, they do such a
Cult.
good job with their community.
Mm-hmm.
Their fans love them. And they are big. Let's not, like, maybe that's a bad example. They are big, but that's like,
They weren't
Drake's
at one
community.
point, though.
It's like
They
Drake's
weren't.
community.
Yeah. I mean,
All-
even when they had hundreds of thousands of subs,
It was
which
the same
again,
way.
but they were living on their community's couches. Like, bro, they were like, hey, we're going to
They're
Miami.
road tripping.
Exactly.
Yeah, just crashing.
That is a community. To have be like, hey, I have people that they had enough people that they were vetting people to go to their house. Like, that's a strong community.
But to build off that, because I think it's a great answer, and more so, I'm curious. But any creator or artist listening, in your mind, what is the best way to build community? And then once you start building it, to keep it and to stay on top of it, because people will build the community and get big and then lose touch, right? So how do you build it and then also stay in it, so people aren't be like, bro, you just fucking outgrew us. You got too cool for us.
I look at somebody like Drake. Drake has, I know he's super big, but I feel like he still has a really dope, tight-knit community. There's pages like Drake fan pages, like Drake Related, which is like the official fan page where like, you know, there's like all these, you know, they repost fans, they engage. Even Drake, like at his concert in Toronto, there, or maybe it wasn't Toronto, but the last few shows of his tour, he was displaying a QR code. People that scanned it, the first like few hundred people got a free pair of limited edition shoes from Drake. And it's like, that's how you build community. It's giving them exclusivity into you, your personality. And I think for any artist out there that's maybe just starting, it's just about knowing what you're passionate about and what you're interested in, and then just being persistent and consistent in posting content and delivering that message, because it's going to resonate with people. People are going to share it. And then you just continue to drive home that message.
I got one more question before we wrap up here, though, because I was kind of talking about this one with content, but we talked about it with music. Where are you at with making music you love and making music you think the market is going to love?
I think there should be a healthy mix. You know, I think, honestly, at the end of the day, though, I think that as long as you're happy, that's all that matters, as long as the artist that's making it is happy. You know, obviously, you know, if you don't have commercial hits, it's hard to make a living in music unless you have a community. You know, look at someone like Andre 3000, who just dropped a whole flute album, but it still got more streams than, or more sales first week than a bunch of artists. I think it was like 24K sales, which is higher than, I don't even want to say their names, disrespect those artists, but if you look it up, it's because he has a community that he's cultivated for 20 years in Atlanta from the ground up in hip hop, you know.
Walsh, I want you to plug your socials.
Oh, yeah.
And also, you mentioned your podcast at the beginning.
Yeah.
Plug the name where people can go and listen to that.
Hell yeah. Socials is TRWLSH. It's like TR Walsh, but there's no A in it. I'm trying to get the handle, but yeah, my podcast is called Hitmakers Podcast. It's a sit down with music execs and people in the music industry, talk about their journey and how they're changing the game in music. And appreciate you both for having me on.
Bro, we appreciate you jumping on.
Bro, it's our music professional that we get to bring on and pull things from the industry.
Yeah,
so
you guys need Boyd on here next.
Yeah, hey, if we can get the plug, we'd love to get him. We'd love to get the Mike Boyd on the pod.
I'm trying to fire up the Monday to Monday podcast.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. For all you who don't know who Mike Boyd is, go
Check him out.
use
Gotta
the Google
know,
machine on that one.
Yeah.
All right?
But Walsh, we appreciate it.
Yeah,
Peace
appreciate
out.
you, Walsh.
Peace.